Today, we're going to take a quick guided tour of a financial news source called TRKA Stock. In the huge sea of market commentary out there, we're going to see if this one offers a clear signal or if it's just adding to the noise. We'll look at everything from its analysis of company collapses to, believe it or not, the financial lessons hidden inside a chicken sandwich. So, if you're on the hunt for a new place to get your financial news, you already know just how crowded it is out there. The real question is, what makes any single source stand out from the pack? Is it offering something truly unique, or is it just rehashing the same old headlines? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with some first impressions, then we'll really dig into how they break down specific stocks. After that, we're going to zoom out and look at the bigger market picture, see how they connect it all to your wallet, and then we'll wrap up with some lessons that are, well, pretty unexpected. First up, let's just get a feel for the place. What is TRKA stock all about? In the world of finance, trust is absolutely everything, right? So what are they promising? Okay, here it is, right from their website. Your trusted source for stock insights and financial news. It's a simple line, but man, it's a bold claim. That word trusted is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It sets a really high bar for everything else they put out. So how do they plan to earn that trust? They basically break it down into these three main things. They're tracking stock trends, they're giving you deeper investment insights, and they're covering general financial news. Let's see how they handle those first two. All right, now for the real meat and potatoes. With a name like TRKA stock, you'd expect them to spend a lot of time decoding specific companies, and they do. And what's really interesting is they don't shy away from the stock in their own name, TRKA. One of their biggest articles is this deep dive on the collapse of TRKA Media. This tells me they're willing to tackle the tough stories head on, even when the news is bad. I like that. But it's not a one-trick pony. A quick look around shows they're also putting the spotlight on other, maybe less famous stocks like MGOL. This shows they're aiming for a pretty wide range of coverage, not just the name on the homepage. And here's something I really appreciate. They try to make sure everyone's on the same page. In one of their pieces, they take the time to clearly define what a stock ticker is. That unique code like TRKA or MGOL. It's a small thing, but it shows they're committed to making finance a little less intimidating. Okay, so individual stocks are one thing, but they don't exist in a bubble, right? There are huge economic forces at play. So our next stop on the tour is to see how they zoom out to that wider market picture. And here's a great example. They've got a whole article dedicated to a major trend in commodities, this historic silver rally. This is a clear sign that they're tracking not just single companies, but entire asset classes and the big picture movements happening around them. And they definitely know how to grab your eyeballs with a big, bold number. A headline screaming about a 150% rally? Yeah, that'll do it. They use these powerful stats to frame their stories and pull you into these massive market trends. And just like they did with stock tickers, they break down the more complex stuff too. They've got an article that specifically explains market volatility, basically how much prices swing up and down over time. Again, it feels like they're focused on education, building that foundation of trust with their readers piece by piece. Now, market trends are cool to know about, but the big question is always, how does this actually affect me, my wallet? Well, this next section is all about how the site connects those big ideas to your personal finances. And boom, this is where it gets super direct. Check out this headline. IRS announces gigantic tax refund for 2026. This isn't about some company you've never heard of. This is about money that could, quite literally, be coming right to you. And they make a really compelling promise here. The article suggests that you could get thousands more. That's such a powerful hook because it immediately answers that question we all have. Why should I care? It makes financial news feel urgent and important. And here's how they make a complicated topic like taxes easy to swallow. Instead of some dense, jargon-filled analysis, they just break it down. 5 reasons for a bigger refund. A simple list like this makes complex info about new tax credits or whatever totally accessible to everybody, not just the financial pros. All right, for our final stop, we're looking at something I genuinely did not see coming. This is the part that gives TRKA stock a real personality, finding financial wisdom in some really unlikely places. Seriously, what can a chicken sandwich teach us about finance? This is the kind of question that just makes you pause and go, wait, what? It's not your typical financial headline, and honestly, that's what makes digging into a site like this kind of fun. And that question leads to this article about the Chick-fil-A paradox. They actually use the fast food giant as a case study for business principles that seem backward, but actually work, like how being closed one day a week can actually create more demand and brand loyalty. It's creative, it's memorable, and it shows they've got a unique voice.
So let's do a quick recap of our little tour. At TRKA Stock, we found some really detailed stock breakdowns, some broad market analysis, very practical personal finance tips, and of course, some truly unique takes on financial education. It's a surprisingly diverse mix of content.
And that really brings us to this final question. In a world that is just drowning in financial information, how do you actually find this source that's giving you a clear signal through all of that noise? It's something to think about the next time you go looking for insights.